Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Jeremy, how's it going?
Great. How you doing, Wilson?
Good. This is a big role for you. Obviously, you're playing an iconic figure, that hopefully the world will get to know and not think, not looking up on Google. So when you take on this role, knowing what he put together throughout these years, what goes into the research you're doing outside of the script that you got?
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot. Luckily, the writer director is the guy's son, so he had compiled a lot of materials over the years, but most of it was like written interviews from people that knew him and firsthand accounts. There were some interviews that were recorded and like a couple of little home videos, but and I, delved into that as much as I could. Every day before set, I would sit there and listen to him talk and sort of get into his vibe because he has a very sort of specific, like laid back, always a little bit high, and has a hint of his New York accent. But for the most part, a lot of it was unknown. He was really young. I mean, the director was really young when his dad died, and a lot of the people that was in his life are gone. And what was really nice is that he saw in me like a lot of the sort of essence of his father, and allowed me to, while staying in the parameters of the script and what we did know, sort of create my own version of that character. That was still true to the guy, but wasn't me trying to do a carbon copy impression.
You think about the music of Bill Withers and Kiss and Donna Summers, and you say none of them have anything to do with each other, but they all have one thing in common. How much of the music that these artists have sung did you know prior to the movie? Obviously we all know them, the title and so forth. But
Yeah.
did you ever sing them on your own? Because you do a lot of songs.
Yeah,
Is there
I mean,
a
sure.
favorite?
I certainly knew a lot of it. I mean, I knew like the big hits, the Bill Withers stuff. Everybody knows Ain't No Sunshine and Lean on Me, and everybody knows Midnight Train to Georgia. And I didn't know as much Donna Summer. I mean, I knew, little bits here and there, and of course I knew Kiss, but so see, I did learn a lot as well, and learned a lot of the sort of intricacies of these artists. And we try to, I mean, we kind of stay to the hits because that's what people know. But yeah, I think so much of this music was still, and I mean, I'm still just walking down the street all the time, and I'm hearing at the grocery store, or on the radio, and like they're still playing this stuff to today. I mean, it's stood the test of time for sure.
When you take on a role like this and you're playing different facets of this one character and you're the lead, you're number one on the call sheet, you're being directed by a guy who's close to the material. What do you take away from his direction that helps you out? Although you've worked with other people, directors and writers, but what do you take away from Tim's direction that helps you out as an actor, skill set wise, that you can hopefully take on to your next project?
Well, what was really interesting about working with Tim was that he embodies so much of his father. And so as we started working together more and more, I started taking kind of cues from him. I would see how he moved, and I would watch like how he talked and how he used his energy. And I was like, that is exactly what's in the script. Like, I'm like watching this guy in front of me. And as we started filming, I wasn't shy about it. I was like, this moment is you. And it works perfectly because you are your father's son in this regard. And it was a kind of weirdly meta in that regard. And I think it's always important to find, real life things that you can bring into your roles. We spend so much time thinking like, who is this guy? What was his character? When really you can always look around and there's always somebody. You have a whole film set full of people, and everybody's super strange and interesting and individual, and there's always something to learn from every single person.
Congrats on the road. You did a good job. Obviously, I'll talk to you down the road because you're going to continue to work on different projects. So have yourself a great
Appreciate
day.
that. Thank you, Wilson.
Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. What's up, Jay? What's going on?
What's up? Good to see you again, Wilson. What's going on, man?
Not much. Here you are in this movie playing someone that we should know about, but nobody much, unless you're in the business, no one really knows about Sisu. So what went into saying yes to taking on this role, and how much of a deep dive did you do into him outside of the script?
Well, I had the source right there. Well, the secondhand source, which was Tim Bogart telling me everything that was going on with the relationship with his father and Cecil Holmes. I didn't get a chance to really talk to Cecil on the phone or anything. He was supposed to come down to set, but what I was told is that this character had Neil Bogart's back to the end. He had his back to the end. That was his ride or die. Like, if you want examples, that was the Myth Bleak to his Jay-Z. That was like his that was the back in the day, that was the Mason and Puff. You feel me? Like that's the relationship that those two had. And this man, a saved guy, was able to navigate this BS that everybody was doing and still make sure that the deals went through, make sure that nobody was offended, making sure that everybody was taken care of. That's what Cecil Holmes was. So that's how I played that character, because there's no audio, there's no visual you can pull up. I couldn't go on YouTube and look up and see how his face was ticking and all of that. So when you see me acting in this role, this is me. I've developed this character off of what I've been told and the relationship, the tightness that he had with Neil Bogart. So and you can see it clearly. You can see it. We had chemistry, but off screen, me and Jeremy, we had chemistry. We were talking, we were making sure that we had a good rapport. So when we got on screen, it would come off natural, and it did. So
when I looked at the film and I'm hearing all these songs, I've just never put it together that Kiss and Donna Summers and Bill Withers were all from one guy.
Yeah.
How much did you know about the history prior to doing this movie? And did you know, granted, we all know about the hits because the movie's playing most of the hits,
Right.
but did you know a lot of these songs, that and its history?
I knew the songs, but I did not know the history with the artists. And I didn't know that these artists were connected to Casablanca Records and Buddha Records. I didn't know that the Isley Brothers were affiliated with them. I didn't know that P-Funk and George Clinton were affiliated with them. I didn't know Donna Summers, Bill Withers. I didn't know I don't know any of these guys. Gladys Knight. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the beef that Berry Gordy had with Neil Bogart because he was taking his artists. I did not know that. So I knew about the music and the catalog, but I had no idea about the depth and history. Had no idea about the history. I didn't even know that I didn't know Kiss was on this record label, and I didn't even know Kiss had struggled. To me, Kiss was like the biggest rock and roll group of all time. Like, when I was a kid, everybody was talking about Kiss. I was like, oh snap. I mean, I was born in 87, but still, Kiss was a big thing, man. Big thing in the 80s and the 90s, late 70s. So, man. So now that I have the information, the backstory, I didn't know the Village People weren't really singing the songs. Like, the music is more special because now I have the history with it, which I would have never known. You just hear it, but you wouldn't have deep dived and been like, that was this record label and this was this artist and this artist came from this label and they poached this one. I wouldn't have known any of that. And I didn't know the story was such a comeback story. And I didn't know that it was such a fake it until you make it type of label. I didn't know that. And that's what intrigued me the most, I think.
When I've watched your career, you're able to balance between doing comedy and doing drama. When you do a film like this, what's your takeaway from what you've done from Tim's direction that helps you out as an actor going on to your next project, whether it be a comedy or a drama?
Say the beginning of that. Say that question one more time. I'm sorry. Sorry.
What's your takeaway after doing a movie like this? And you're able to balance between doing comedy and drama. Then when you finish doing a movie like this, is there anything you can take away that helps you out as an actor when you go on to your next project?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think what you take away from a project like this is it's the wherewithal that you can jump into comedy and you can jump into drama at any time. Like, I can play both of those fields. So when I don't have anything to look at, really like deep diving into myself and playing off of those personal relationships that I have cultivated already, that translates very beautifully on screen. I mean, it translated with me and Neil. I mean, even when I was with Christina Milian and I did that movie, like I took a personal relationship and I put that on screen. So to take more of those personal relationships, as long as they're real to you, they're real to other people. So you can always go there as long as you have lived it. And that's what I took.
Congrats on the road, Jay. It's always good to see you doing different things, different roles. Keep it going. I got your back. I'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, my brother.
Wilson Morales from Black for Me TV. Hello, Tayla. How's it going?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Now you've acted before, so this is not, new for you, but you're playing a big role. You're playing an iconic person. So coming into it, how much more did you do in terms of researching Donna Summer outside of the script that you got?
Of course, because this is my first time playing a character that is so well known. I had to really approach it differently than I would any other role. Understanding that, Donna has a daughter who's still alive, understanding that, Donna Summer was a character that LaDonna Gaines created, understanding all of those other things and all of those layers that go behind how I decided to play the role as an actress. It was actually quite challenging in a great way, actually.
How many of the songs had you sung before taking on this role?
I've sung Bad Girls before because I love specific, like the bridge of Bad Girls will forever have me on lock. However, there were other songs that my mom used to play growing up, like Dim All the Lights. Like that's how I knew what a Victrola was. I was like, whoa, okay, from that song. And I definitely I've always been a huge fan and a student of music. I'm a singer-songwriter, and my parents growing up, they were very adamant that I was like a student of the music that comes before me. So luckily I had parents with great taste in music, and I've heard all of these songs before.
Now, when you're playing a singer, you're singing their songs. Are you, I wouldn't say required to sing it their way as opposed to how you may have sung it? Obviously, you have to sing it to the point that we all remember it how. Is that in line to your singing skills?
Absolutely. I think that my whole point is to sing it as Donna would sing it. And it's not to be exactly as because that's impossible. That's what makes it so special. Those masters so special is the fact that that is that person. However, you want to make sure that you're trying to do them justice. You know what I'm saying? And so also another thing that I want people to remember is that we're showing the evolution of these artists as well. So the first take of singing, the first time we hear Even Love to Love You Baby in the film, it's a very different version of when we hear it later on in the film. And that's intentional. It's intentional to show the different layers that went into building that persona.
What did you learn in the process? Obviously, you've acted before, but this is a bigger scale. This is when you see you as an adult as opposed to what you did back in the day. Is this something that you want to continue doing, get more roles, something where, you improve your skill set as an actress?
Absolutely. I think before I was so like against doing it because I wanted to just focus on music. But I just finished wrapping up another film, which is going to be really awesome, and I'm showing, like you said, a different side of myself as an actress and coming back on screen as an adult. And it's been extremely fun because I actually am inspired by it again. I'm actually inspired by seeing and also able to take both what I've learned in my break away from on-screen acting and really put it to use.
You, as a singer-songwriter, obviously trying to, get your projects out, whether it's be on your own or through somebody else's voice, doing a movie like this and seeing what some of these artists had to go through, does that put things into perspective as to how you see the industry change or evolve over 50 years to now?
Absolutely. I think that there are certain things that you're like, man, it's still the same. And then there's certain things that you're like, I'm thankful that we've had advocates and creatives that have changed things, along the way. But I definitely was able to say I'm inspired by the fact that somebody like Donna Summer and all the other incredible artists in this film were able to be, we're able to persevere, because that is the whole point of, I think, the whole Spinning Gold film, is the fact that from Neil to Cecil to Gladys Knight to like everybody involved, they had to overcome a lot in order for us to be able to get these records. And it made me even more, respect them even more, honestly.
Well, I want to say congrats on the role, congrats on the performance. I hope to see more of you in front of the screen, as opposed to hearing your voice and hearing that you collaborated on this and that. Let's get you back on the screen again. Take care.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Well, Miles from Black Women TV. Hello, Tim. How's it going?
Very well. Nice to meet you.
It's been a long journey. It's just like an albatross. Finally got it, getting it done, over the years. I think I remember when I first reported it, then it was dormant, and then okay, we're here now. It's finally coming out. Changes have been made, but the ship is about to set sail, right?
I love that you describe it as an albatross. I hadn't quite thought about it that way, but yeah, I mean, not just on this final part, but the very beginning, even from a family's perspective, saying, when are you going to make the movie? When are you going to make the movie? I'm trying. They're just hard.
Now, were you always envisioning yourself as the writer director, or was there anybody coming into play, or you always wanted to do it?
No, I actually always thought I would not direct it. I always thought I'd write it because I thought I had probably the best access to the information, and probably at least for me, I had an idea of what I thought the film could be constructed like. But no, I actually always thought I shouldn't direct it. And so there was a number of directors along the way over the years. Worked with Spike Lee for a while on it, that was going to be an interesting version. And we just kept sort of drifting further and further away from what I thought was the kernel of what I wanted to tell. And so ultimately, years and years and decades later, I finally determined, if I keep having to pull this back to kind of my vision, maybe I should just take it all the way. But no, I was not going to do it at the beginning.
There's the challenging aspect of how to put it all together from the perspective of your father's life, from cradle to the grave, to the performances, to the other stories of the other artists in there. How were we able to try to balance it all out?
I don't know. It was hard. Look, I think stories like this are sculptures more than paintings, right? You have to kind of start with something and keep carving away to get the essence. And this was certainly no different. Just, right before we were ready to finish filming, I had still planned on doing a couple sequences about Curtis Mayfield. Actually Ty Dolla $ign was going to play Curtis. And it just became it would just become too unwieldy. It wouldn't fit. So just finding what to include and what to exclude was incredibly challenging. Where to start the film? There's a lot of people over the years who said, start it linearly. Don't do this bouncing around. And I said, yeah, but you're going to meet a guy you don't know, at 8 years old, and it's going to take quite a while to get to Casablanca. I don't know that that's the way either. So it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of willingness to just completely explore different potential paths. And then ultimately, it was keeping my eye on that compass about the key anchor of what I thought the story was about, which was about, believing in your dreams and persevering till you get there, no matter what. That's what kept the compass.
Before I let you go, do you have two things? What do you want people to get out of it from knowing about your father? And is this a one and done for you, or are we going to get more stuff out of you down the road that's outside of your personal feelings?
Well, so your first question, I really do hope, regardless of whether they learn something specifically about Neil Bogart, that what they come away ultimately at the end of the movie is, man, those people did a lot of amazing things in each day and in a short period of time. What did I do today? And that they wake up the next morning going, that thing I wanted to do, I'm going to do it. Because that's what he did. And that's what the people around him did, the artists and the executives alike. So just believing in those dreams, I hope people walk away with that. And in terms of what's next, I actually just finished a movie shooting in Italy, which is a big musical as well, but not for my own personal life story, a pop musical version of Romeo and Juliet set in 1300, which was great fun.
See, we're there. So it's good to know that hopefully we'll talk again on your other projects. But congratulations on this one. It's out. It's ready to be out there. I can't wait to listen to the soundtrack again. And so congratulations.
Thanks so much.